name's Charlie and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. As you can tell from the title, this is going to be a Charlie chat. So for those of you that sort of like the more relaxed videos and sort of chatty videos, this is what this is going to be. I'm going to probably just go through like what I'm reading and things I'm watching. Just it's like a general like Charlie catch up. So yeah. Stay tuned. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was just to quickly say a massive again thank you for those of you that have ordered the bookmarks. I'll put a picture of the bookmarks on screen. Actually, you can see them on my shelves up there. For those of you that don't know, I have created a set of 4 bookmarks and we are raising money for the book trust in memory of my wonderful friend Alice, who sadly passed away last year. So far guys, we have raised over £396 for book trust, which is crazy to me. I mean, you guys are amazing. We've had orders like across the globe, which is completely crazy to my brain. I've sent some to Australia, I've had some to Europe, and obviously lots of you US viewers have been buying them along with the wonderful UK peeps as well. So yeah, thank you so much to every single person that has ordered bookmarks. They are available still in the description. I'll link them, they'll be in the description. So yeah, thank you. I mean, you guys are just wonderful and I love seeing all of your pictures on Instagram. So yeah, if you do take any pictures, and make sure you can tag me and I'll link my Instagram in the description. It's just Pickla's mum. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen and link it in the description. Also, you can tag the Plod-along account as well, and I'll put that across the screen and in the description. Speaking of bookmarks, I'm going to talk about the fact that the bookmarks came for arrived for the Books for Bowel Cancer bookmarks, and they look like this. So this is the shiny side and the matte side has the symptoms. For those of you that don't know, I'm running a readathon in April called Books for Bowel Cancer, and this is to raise awareness of the 5 main symptoms of bowel cancer. I'll leave my announcement video in the description. And thank you to everyone again that has said that they're going to participate. I mean, like I said, you guys are wonderful. I know that the wonderful Heather has already made a TBR video. She's already ahead of me, she's beat me. And so I'll link, so Heather from Reading with a Vengeance. So I'll link Heather's video in the description as well for you to go and check out. Yeah, she's got some wonderful book picks as well. So yeah, if you want to join in with the Books for Bowel Cancer readathon, like I said, I'll link the announcement video in the description to check out all the details of it. But yeah, these bookmarks are available. I will be putting them online today. So they'll be available in either like individually, or I will put like bundles of 4 together so you can get them. They're £2 each, or I'll do a set of 4 for £7 if you so want to do that. But yeah, that's the thing. That's like next on my little list. I will be doing my own TBR video for the Books for Bowel Cancer readathon. Probably not the next video, but the one after that. So yeah, towards the end of March, I will probably put that up. Right. So other things that I need to talk to you about is another thing that ties into my currently reading, and that is a read along. Myself and Charlie we're hosting a read along of Charlie's new book, which is Mistakes Mean Murder. Obviously Charles Heathcote. I will link in the description a place where you can buy this. It's currently on sale on Kindle for £1.99, I believe, which is a bargain. This is the second in the Valentine Featherstone like mystery series, but you don't need to have read the first one in order to enjoy this one, although you will get more out of this if you have read the first one, which the first one is An Heir to Murder. Charlie just writes wonderfully cozy murder mystery books. Alice Valentine and Marmaduke Featherstone are the partner, the crime solving duo. And yeah, Charlie's books are always really cozy. And if you've read any of Charlie's previous like the Doris books that Charlie released, you've got loads of characters that appear from there as well. So yeah, it's sort of cozy murder mystery, and I just really love reading it. And at the moment, like I said, we're hosting a read along of this. We are hosting a read along of this book throughout March, and there will be a live show Q&A to discuss the book. So there's still plenty of time to join in if you are interested. I do encourage you to, because it's like, I just love Charlie's writing so much. If you like Agatha Christie, you like those kinds of books, I highly recommend picking up Charlie's books and joining in the read along with us. And then, yeah, myself and the lovely Kelly are, my lovely friend Kelly, are like having regular discussions on this book, and it's just so wonderful. It's just like my favourite thing. Shout out to Kelly. Hi Kelly. I know you're watching. Yeah, it's just, Charlie's books are like my favourite thing. I know I'm slightly biased because Charlie is like one of my best friends, but genuinely, I always have so much fun trying to solve what like the mystery and try and work out what's going on, and as well as sort of laughing at like Charlie's like funny, like he's got such a gentle humour, and yeah, this book is no exception to that. I mean, like obviously I'm loving it. Yeah, so hope lots of you can join in that one. I'm sorry that I haven't said anything so far on my channel so far, but I haven't actually posted obviously like a regular channel video, main channel video, since my women's prize predictions, because it's like obviously we're sort of at Plod-along times at the moment, and it's a bit crazy, which I will talk about Plod-along times in a minute. But yeah, so speaking of women's prize times, the last book I've literally just finished. I've been reading women's prizey books. That's basically what's been taking up a lot of my reading time. Mostly the women's prize for non-fiction, which it's just like my favourite thing. It's become my favourite thing. Last year I read, I think, 7 of the books, and already so far, like I've just yesterday, like I said, finished my 9th on the women's prize for non-fiction. And yeah, they're just brilliant books. Like I love discovering all these like new writers and learning about things that I never would have thought I'd be like think to learn about. So yeah, it's just such my favourite thing. I'm going to have a video next week talking about every single book that I've read so far, and obviously doing my predictions for what's going to make the shortlist, because that comes out quite soon on the 26th. So yeah, which is actually, side note, my mum's birthday. But yeah, like yeah, I'm so excited to see what makes the shortlist, and excited to sort of like predict and see try and work it out. But yeah, you guys let me know what books you've been loving from the non-fiction prize, also from the fiction prize. I really haven't been I'm not really doing quite as well with my fiction prize reading. I've read 3 that now, so one of which I'd already read before the prize. So I've read The Safekeep, this week I read Amma, and also I read A Little Trickery. A Little Trickery is probably my favourite. Little Trickery is a book that is sort of set in sort of Tudor times, and we follow our main character of Tib Ingleby, and she's at the beginning of the book her mum dies, and she sort of has to sort of, it's very tragic at like the very beginning, but I was like, oh, Tib, and it really like establishes Tib's character, and you really feel for her very immediately. And yeah, I just love the writing style's very gentle. Yeah, the audiobook is just wonderfully narrated, and like I said, it really attaches you. I feel like it does have like plot to the book, which I did find very compelling, but my favourite thing was definitely the character of Tib, and she's sort of this unlikely sort of heroine, as it were, and yeah, and the cast of characters within it as well, like I did love as well. And yeah, I think my only slight issue I had with it was maybe sometimes I think the pacing was a little bit off. That's like but not like, maybe that's if I'm being like super fussy. It wasn't like a 5-star read for that reason, but I think, yeah, there was times when I was like sort of wanting it to sort of move like a little bit quicker. But do you know what? Overall, I really loved it, and yeah, it's definitely, obviously out of the 3 that I've read, it's my favourite, but that's obviously out of the 3. Going back again, I'm gonna, sorry, this is really messy, but speaking of like the non-fiction prize that I just finished, but the one book I finished last night for the non-fiction prize was A Story of a Heart, and that's by Rachel Clark, and yeah, that was my latest one from that, and I just loved that so much. That was like 5 stars, and I think that's probably my favourite of the 9 I've read. Am I going to say that? Because that saying beats Raising Hell, which obviously was one of my favourites of the year last year, and my second favourite of the year. Am I saying that? I think I might be saying it, because I had some time at home yesterday, and basically I just listened to the audiobook all day, and it was, maybe that wasn't the best way of doing it in terms of, because it's got very, very brutal content, and yeah, it's a lot. This is so in this book, for those of you that don't know, this is non-fiction, like I said, and it's following the story of these two, predominantly these two children. We follow the story of Max, who was born, who developed a heart condition, and he was really, really poorly and was basically dying. And then also the story of 9-year-old Kira as well. So both these children are 9 years old. Both of them are 9 years old. So yeah, 9-year-old Kira, and the story of basically obviously what happened with her, being involved, like who she was, and also her being involved tragically in a major car accident, which then led to her sadly becoming brain dead, and then her organs, her heart was then, it's the story of a heart, how the heart was then donated to Max, and also it talks about so much more than that, because it's also teaching you the history of like transplants, and to do with I've got my notes here, yeah, and medical innovations over history, to do with all of the scientific advances in heart transplant, in heart transplants, and also in like surgeries to do with the heart, and all like stuff to do with that. It's sort of like obviously it's like a love letter to the industry, to the NHS, to all the people that are involved at every step of it, to do with the nurses, to do with the doctors, to do with the what are they called? To do the immunologists, and also all the other scientists, and every single person that's involved in the step along the way of that journey of the transplant, of like from the point of everything happening to, yeah, it's just so fascinating, so heart-wrenching. I cried a lot. Obviously you guys know I'm a big crier anyway, and yeah, I sobbed. It really, really affected me, but it was just, yeah, but at the same time, it's not, I feel like how Rachel's done it is a very, very respectful way. It's not sort of done for sort of dramatic effect or anything like that. Everything that's in there is real life accounts. It's not it's not dramatized in any way, shape or form, and it's very, very sensitively written to the families, both the families, to be very respectful of both the families and the children involved. And yeah, it's easily like my favorite book of the year. I'm going to talk about this obviously more next week, but yeah, I just loved it, even though it was extremely brutal with the content that it's discussing, but very, very interesting. So yeah, that's that. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to 3 readathons that are happening this month that I'm trying to participate in. There's the Bronte readathon, which is being hosted by my lovely sister Emily from Naval Novels. All of these I'll obviously link in the description, and it's basically, she's got a load of prompts, obviously, I think one of them's to read a Bronte book. I think there's an Emily prompt to read a book with like Emily, the name Emily on the cover, or to do with a character called Emily or something like that. Obviously my sister's name is Emily. And I think there's another one is to read, is it a dark book, and then also Sisters. I'm not going to go through all the prompts for all of the readathons, by the way. It's just obviously Emily is my sister, so I will, yeah, I'm trying to endeavour to participate, and yeah, I highly recommend that you guys can too. It's running throughout the month, so yeah, you've still got loads of time, like I said. Also, I wanted to shout out the Irish readathon, which I know, like, obviously loads of you guys are reading anyway. Everyone loves Irish literature, and the book that I'm planning to try and get to soon is Nesting by Roisin O'Donnell, which is obviously in the Women's Prize for Fiction. That's the one that sort of is probably, I feel like it's everyone's favourite at the moment, both in the Plod-alongs and in what I've seen when I've watched people's videos. Everyone is loving that book, so yeah, I cannot wait to got a physical copy, because I got given a copy during the Women's Prize Live last year, and then, but I also want to, because everyone keeps saying about the audiobook again of that one. I know that the audiobook is available on Everand, so I probably will listen to it, I'm thinking. Yeah, let me know if you've read it that way or which way you recommend. So yeah. And then also the last readathon I want to shout out is the HerstoryAthon, which is being hosted by my wonderful friend Charlotte from Coiny Reads, and this is basically, the idea is to read books by women in history, and yeah, so it's just sharing all of that, and that ties in beautifully with for me it ties in beautifully with the non-fiction women's prize for non-fiction, because a lot of the books are obviously focused on women in history, and yeah, I read Private Revolutions, that was one of the ones I've read as well, and that would be a perfect choice for it. And segueing on to my next read, I'm planning on reading Agent Zoe by Claire Millie next, and this is focused on a famous lady in Poland who, I think it says it's a incredible story of Elżbieta Zwaka, the resistant fighter known as Zoe. So yeah, and I've got the audiobook of this, but my friend Ange has the audiobook and also said that she recommends having the physical book as well, because obviously there's quite a lot of information in this. So that's sort of my plan for, I think if I don't start it this weekend, I'm going to probably start it at the beginning of next week. I'm trying to give myself this weekend a little bit of a break from the women's prize books, just so I can read some other books from my shelves, but I know this is the next audiobook I want to get to, so we shall see. Yeah, last weekend was the Waterstones. I had a double points thing, so I did I did an order, and so I pre-ordered Natasha Brown's latest book, Universality. I loved Assembly by Natasha Brown, and so this is probably what I want to read. I want to sit and read today. Yeah, I've got this is a signed edition as well, so look. And I think it's in the opening sections of this book, this guy gets killed by this gold bar, and I'm guessing it's to do with that. I do not know, but I do not need to know, because anything written by Natasha Brown, like I said, I want to read. So yeah, that's that. The next thing I want to talk to you about, I'm going to talk about the Plod-along, looping back around to that. Obviously we kicked off the Plod-along, so as you guys all know, because I know loads of you are fellow plodders, and yeah, we're well and truly, I feel like we're in the throes of it now. Yeah, the first few shows, I definitely think that myself and Jem, my co-host, we definitely found it very difficult, because obviously this is the first women's prize Plod-along without Alice, and it's definitely not been easy, but obviously we're carrying on in her memory. This is and also, like I said, we do love doing it, but it definitely hasn't been, the initial bits haven't been easy, but you guys have been amazing. You always wrap us up in so much love, and the community that we have is, obviously I know I go on about it, but it's something so special to myself and to Jem. But I feel like we're starting to get into the rhythm of the shows now, and we're finding our feet with it a little bit more, and I'm really enjoying it. We've had some amazing guests, so I will link the playlist to all the previous shows that we've done this weekend as we're watching this video. Tomorrow we've got the amazing Brian from Bookish and Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, and then that's going to be over on Jem's channel tomorrow, and at 2 PM GMT, and then on Tuesday on my channel at 8 PM we've got Kerry from Bookish Adventures in Wellbeing and Ange from Ange's Book Chatter, both of which, I mean, all of these people, these are just like my favourite people, and I cannot wait for that as well. So yeah, thank you to everyone that has been joining in the Plod-along. Thank you for everyone that is telling us how you're getting on with all the women's prize books. It's obviously, like I said, women's prize time is my favourite time, and yes, the Plod-along is a little bit crazy, but it's one of our favourite things, and yeah, I hope it continues to be. So yeah, so yes, that is that. Yeah, in terms of watching stuff, this is what I'm going to talk to you about next, is what I've been watching, and there's so many booktube things, booktube videos that I love watching, but linking in with the Plod-along, I have been loving watching Louise Savage Muse's videos on the non-fiction prize specifically, and that has been a massive, last year it was a massive highlight. So Louise is basically aims to read the entire long list, the 16 books, and so this year especially, because obviously we've got less time between the announcements, between the time it was announced and the time that the shortlist is announced. So I feel like she's got even more pressure this year, but I know that she's going to be trying to be gentle on herself. But yeah, I love her. I loved watching all of those videos and listening to all her reviews of them, because even when there's like books that don't necessarily work for her, obviously she's always very gracious and like says and tells you what she thinks potentially like you guys will, what everyone else will love, and she highlights those things as well. And she, yeah, so yeah, I just think Louise is amazing. Obviously she's like Simon's mum, but like in her own right, like she's just wonderful, and I just think she's just such an awesome lady. She's actually going to be a guest actually on the Plod-along, we're hoping, so yeah, stay tuned for that as well. So yeah, I'm super excited to chat with her because we chatted to her last year, her and Simon last year, so hoping this year we get to chat to yeah, Louise and stuff. So yeah, that's really good, very exciting. And in terms of moving away from BookTube, I'm going to talk about like general telly that I've been watching. I'm going to indulge myself, and so like Brooke family TV time, which is, when I say about that, is I mean the four of us, myself, my husband, and my two, I say children, but I've got an 18 and a 16-year-old. So the four of us, our favourite telly at the moment is The Apprentice. And this is something that we don't always watch it on the day it's released on, but we always sort of try and watch it on the Friday or the Saturday. And it's just like it's like my favourite thing to watch as a family, because we just sit and we're very, very judgmental, obviously, as everyone is when we watch The Apprentice. And yeah, it's just wonderful. And there's a guy that's on there, I think his name's Dean, and he reminds me of one of my cousins. I've got quite a lot of cousins. My mum is one of 8, so yeah, I've got quite a few cousins. But yeah, when there's a guy called Dean, he just reminds me of one of my cousins, and like, so now all I do is like call it, like whenever I talk about the show, like with the kid Rich and the kids, I'm always like, oh yeah, there's my cousin, I wonder how my cousin's gonna do. And they are just always like, it's very jokey, but that's just me. I'm probably a bit stupid, but hey ho, that's what it is. But yeah, I really thought, like, spoilers for this week, alert if you haven't watched this week's show, but yeah, I really thought my cousin was in trouble this week. Spoilers, he wasn't, but he was okay, but I really thought he was a goner this week. I don't know how he managed to make it. Yeah, that was brilliant. Another thing, it's a programme that we watch, not all together, but me and my husband and sometimes my daughter, Death in Paradise. And that this year, obviously, they've got the lovely Don Gillet on it, and he is amazing. I love his detective. I feel like he sort of reminds me, he's got like elements of the Richard, who was like the first detective, because he's obviously like, he's not always the most like likeable initially. He comes across, he's quite guarded, I think. Obviously he's obviously been like, I think his character, and we haven't got to know his character fully yet, because I think we're uncovering a bit more, but yeah, his character's obviously quite guarded because of everything he's been through. But I just love I love Don's portrayal of the character, and he still brings the classic Death in Paradise humour, and the cast around him are just brilliant, and I'm just loving watching it. And yeah, it's another one of my favourite things every week that appears, and I can't wait. Again, like, I know that is it Return to Paradise, the one with Humph, that'll be out like imminently this year, at some point this year. Hopefully we'll get that, and that's like sort of parallel sort of one set of to Death in Paradise, and it's yeah, and it's set in the UK and Cornwall, so it's quite different, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that when that comes out. Side note, because I've seen some things on Instagram about that, little images on it, so yeah, can't wait for that. Then still talking about telly, myself and my eldest Oscar, we have been started last couple of weeks, we started watching Survivor, specifically the Australian Survivor. Literally just started watching it. It's on Prime and stuff, so yeah, and it's like really one of my, like, not guilty pleasures, but, and we only really like watch an episode a day, so like, and if that sometimes, because obviously Oscar's busy as well, but yeah, sort of tea time, it's sort of tea time telly that I watch with Oscar. And yeah, I'm really loving it. I'm properly a Survivor, I feel like I'm a Survivor like convert, is that right? But we only get the Australian one here. There was one season of the UK which I watched by myself, and we can't seem to get the US one, so US, which is so annoying. I really want to watch the US one, so if anyone in the UK knows how to watch the US one, let me know in the comments if any of you watch it or are interested in Survivor. But there's still plenty of Australian seasons to be going on with, and they're like 20 episodes like per season, so I feel like I probably won't even get through all of this, like the Australian season with Oscar before they go to uni, so yeah, whatever. I will enjoy it for now. And then the last thing is something that isn't on yet that I'm going to talk about, but is coming in literally, I think it's like 2 weeks. It's less than a month. No, not 2 weeks. It's less than a month until it comes, because it's the 15th today. And yeah, it's the 12th of April. Doctor Who, obviously. There is nothing else. I'm probably going to put Doctor Who in the thumbnail, actually. So yeah. But yeah, that's going to be the new seasons of that's coming out. And obviously we have got the wonderful Ncuti Gatwa and Reada Sethi. And I think that's how you say her name, and yeah, so, and she's going to be the sort of new companion. I can't wait for that. Like, again, I've seen images online of it and it just all looks amazing. Like, I love Ncuti's Doctor, like again, a very different Doctor, but I still think like his Doctor has got like loads of heart and yeah, and again, Ncuti does the comedy just perfectly as well, those elements as well. My favourite like episode from like the ones we saw at Christmas, I think, was like the Bridgerton episode with, oh, what's his name? The guy from Frozen, the actor from Frozen, who I just literally I just adore. Anyway, that episode was, I think, my favourite, I think, just because it was like, I just love that guy. So yeah, I can't wait just for more of that ahead. Doctor Who times, I'm always going to be like a big Doctor Who person. So yeah. Let me know what books you're reading. Let me know what telly you're watching. Just chat to me in the comments, and yeah, and I hope lots of you can join us for more Plod-along shows, like I said, tomorrow at 2 PM and Tuesdays at 8 PM. So yeah, take care and sending you guys lots of love.